but it's a fact they played better without him today. I did not miss him. I hope he can figure it out, work it out, get better from his concussion, and contribute down the stretch for this football team. But DaRon Bland continued to play. I don't like the fact that he had Hunter Renfrow in man coverage and played 15 yards off him on the key fourth down of the game last week at Carolina and cost us the game. But he picked six today, albeit against Marcus Mariota. But he got back to his old ways after he's had a foot injury that's cost him some games this year. He got back on track. And all of a sudden, I saw my old Sooner from the University of Oklahoma, Kenneth Murray, start to look.
Cowboys Nation, turn the volume up and feel this one. Because the Dallas Cowboys didn't just win a football game, they sent a shockwave across the NFL. 44-22, a home field masterpiece that reignited the roar of AT&T Stadium and reminded every critic, every rival, and every fan watching that the star still shines brighter than ever. This was the Dallas Cowboys at their best. Fast, fearless, and relentless. From the opening drive, you could tell this team came out to make a statement. Dak Prescott looked confident, calm, and in total control. The timing was crisp, the play calling aggressive, the execution sharp. And then, just like lightning, it happened. CeeDee Lamb's return became a movie moment. Dak dropped back, saw Lamb streaking across the middle, and unleashed a strike. Lamb caught it in stride, turned on the jets, raised his arms before he even crossed the goal line, and glided into the end zone for 74 yards of pure electricity. AT&T Stadium exploded. Fans jumped, players screamed, and Lamb looked every bit the superstar this team has missed. 5 catches, 110 yards, one unforgettable touchdown, and a reminder that when CeeDee Lamb is healthy, Dallas is dangerous. He didn't just bring production, he brought swagger. And with George Pickens lining up beside him, that swagger feels contagious. Pickens racked up 80-plus yards of his own, stretching the field, forcing defenses to respect both sides. For the first time all season, you could feel it. Balance, chemistry, and rhythm. But let's give credit to Dak Prescott, because this was his game. 21 completions on 30 throws, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 hesitation. This wasn't the Dak we've seen second-guessing or playing cautious. This was the field general version, reading, commanding, attacking. He found Jake Ferguson twice for scores, and Ferguson made history. The first tight end in NFL history with at least 50 catches and 6 touchdowns through 7 games. That's not just a hot streak, that's a star being born. Ferguson's reliability in the red zone changes everything for this offense. And then there's the run game. Physical, relentless, powerful. Javonte Williams was a workhorse, pounding through defenders for 116 yards and a touchdown. Every carry felt like a statement. Shoulders down, legs driving, refusing to go down. That kind of ground control wears defenses down and fuels everything Schottenheimer's offense wants to be: aggressive, flexible, and balanced. Speaking of Brian Schottenheimer, this felt like his blueprint coming to life. The creativity was there. The balance was there. He mixed formations, attacked coverages, and never let Washington breathe. After weeks of questions about identity, we saw his vision take shape. You can feel the team starting to buy in. And while the offense dominated, the defense matched the intensity. Rookie linebacker Shamar James delivered one of the biggest hits of the game, a strip sack on Jaden Daniels that forced a turnover and left Washington reeling. Daniels, already fighting through injury, couldn't return, and from that moment, the Commanders never recovered. Marcus Mariota stepped in, but it didn't matter because the Dallas Cowboys defense smelled blood. DaRon Bland, the quiet assassin in this secondary, struck again, a 68-yard pick six that flipped the energy of the game from dominant to devastating. Bland now has 6 career interception for touchdowns, an NFL record, and each one seems to come when Dallas needs it most. The man is becoming a legend in real time. And while everyone else was celebrating touchdowns, special teams decided to make history too. Brandon Aubrey, calm, confident, unshakable, drilled a 61-yard field goal, his 5th from 60 or more. No other kicker in league history has done that. Think about that. Dallas has an offense firing, a defense creating turnovers, and a kicker rewriting record books. That's balance. That's championship potential. This win didn't just move the Cowboys to 3-3-1. It reignited belief. It put life back into a locker room that had been searching for rhythm. The Commanders were 3-3 coming in, trying to prove they belonged. But Dallas took that challenge and turned it into a showcase. Every drive, every tackle, every celebration carried purpose. You could see it in the faces on the sideline. Joy, unity, confidence. This team looked alive again. And the timing couldn't be better. With the NFL trade deadline approaching, the Cowboys now find themselves in a position of strength. Insiders are already reporting that Jerry Jones and the front office are exploring moves to reinforce the defense. Maybe another safety, maybe a defensive tackle if Kenny Clark's elbow injury turns out to be serious. But the tone is different this time. They're not scrambling for help. They're reinforcing a contender. What makes this win even sweeter is how complete it was. The offense scored from the air and the ground, the defense created turnovers and points, special teams extended drives and nailed kicks from beyond midfield. That's not luck, that's execution. That's the product of coaching, preparation, and pride. Let's not sugarcoat it. This season has had its ups and downs. The Cowboys have taken their share of criticism, and rightfully so. But this game showed that when they play their brand of football, aggressive, confident, and disciplined, they can hang with anyone. The Eagles might lead the NFC East, but Dallas is right there, breathing down their necks. And after Sunday, the message is clear. They're not backing down. CeeDee Lamb is healthy. Dak Prescott is confident. Jake Ferguson is emerging. DaRon Bland is rewriting defensive history. Brian Schottenheimer's system is clicking. Brandon Aubrey is a weapon. And the star, that blue star on silver helmets, it's glowing again. This 44-22 win wasn't just another W in the standings. It was a reawakening. The energy, the fire, the confidence, it's all back. AT&T Stadium was electric, and the fans felt it in their bones. The Cowboys are playing like a team that believes again, and belief is dangerous. Cowboys Nation, this is your moment to rise up again, because when this team plays with this kind of fire, there isn't a defense in the league that can keep up. This was more than a game. This was a statement of intent. Now, the question is, can they keep that same energy in Denver next week? Can they turn this spark into a streak? If they can, the rest of the NFC had better start watching closely, because Dallas just flipped the switch. Drop your thoughts below. What was your favorite moment? Lamb's lightning strike? Bland's pick six? Aubrey's 61-yard bomb? Let's talk about it. Smash that like button, share your reactions, and subscribe to Dallas Game Day, because this is the heartbeat of Dallas Nation. We live for moments like this. The crowd roaring, the star shining, the team finally looking like the powerhouse we know it can be. This is who we are. This is what we believe in. The Dallas Cowboys are back. The fire is real, the energy is unmatched, and something special is building in Big D. This is Dallas Game Day, where every victory feels like destiny, and every Sunday reminds us why we love this game. Cowboys Nation, rise up. The ride's just getting started.